Namo myoho renge kyo, namo myoho renge kyo, namo myoho renge kyo. Hi, how you doing? I hope you're in good health, safe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice. That's what all of this is about, right? This resource, these videos, the website, the books, the podcasts, all links in the descriptions, ways for you to help us expand and keep growing and keep producing more content for your study, for your encouragement. So we've reached that point where Cunda and Shakyamuni are now discussing Kunda's little aha moment and how to maintain it, what to do with it, what it means. We're not quite there yet. So we take up this chapter where Cunda says to Shakyamuni Buddha, O world-honored one, it is so, as you say. All is as you, exalted one, say. What wisdom I possess is paltry and of low grade. I am like a mosquito or sawfly. How can I contemplate the deepest ground of Shakyamuni Buddha's nirvana? O world-honored one, I am now like any great naga or elephant of a bodhisattva mahasattva who has cut off the bond of illusion. I am like Dharmarajaputra Manjushri. O world-honored one, it is like one who enters the order at a young age. So after all his years of practice, Cunda now has had this moment's enlightenment where he gets this aha moment and he understands, I'm starting all over again. Now that I know this, I'm truly a beginner again. Makes sense. It is like one who enters the order at a young age, though upholding the precepts, that person is still just of the class of ordinary monks. I, too, am such a one. Due to the power of Shakyamuni Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, I am now one of the number of such great Bodhisattvas. That is why I beseech the Buddha to stay long in this life and not enter nirvana. You see that sentence? Do you hear how confused that is? I now beseech the Buddha. True enough, we all are, right? Our Buddha consciousness. To stay long in this life and not enter nirvana. But he's saying it addressing Shakyamuni as though Shakyamuni were the Buddha, the one and only Buddha. Not quite getting the point that it's not Shakyamuni that needs to stay, it's his own consciousness that needs to stay. I had the thought yesterday I wanted to share. Might help you conceptualize this. Let me finish this paragraph and then I'll get into it. This is similar to a hunger-stricken man who has nothing more to put out. I only concentrate our thoughts that the same will be the case with the world-honored one, and that he will stay long in this life and not enter nirvana. Although Cunda adopts the rhetoric, he continues to parrot the fears of the assembled groups. Manjushri now attempts to clarify this for Cunda. So before I start that, I'll just tell you this little thought I had. How many times can you just think back in your life, probably quite recently, And for me, this often happens, well, now it just happens any old time, but in the past, it's happened mostly in the morning or early day. Or, of course, as I'm involved with my Butsudan and mandala, yes. These aha moments, sometimes they just come to you without even requiring that you're focusing on them or looking for an answer. In fact, most often when you're not. Something in your life isn't going right, something you're building isn't working out, some relationship isn't working, something has caused you anxiety. And seemingly out of nowhere, I'll just do that. Obviously, why didn't I think of that before? Those kind of moments, right? And I say in the mornings because our sleep time is time for us to digest information without the anxiety getting in the way. For me, that's such a great illustration of samsara getting in the way of our enlightened mind. An enlightened mind is simply a mind that can see clearly. Enlightened. Like I've often said, switching the light on in an attic. You get tired of running around stubbing your toe on stuff, not seeing where all your piles of stuff are. You turn the light on and suddenly it's plain to see. The mind is like this. So what I want you to conceptualize now, the reason I bring that up is because we have 9 consciousnesses. From the get-go, everything in the cosmos has this feature of enlightenment, of seeing clearly without impediment. That's our 9th consciousness, unimpeded clarity, Buddha. And so you may think that now that you're chanting and have a mandala and learning Gangyo and all of this, practicing, you're chasing after something you've never had. But that's not the case, my friends. You already have this. It's just that from a very early start as a human being, you've slowly learned how to bury it underneath all of your clingings and cravings. That's a little upsetting, isn't it? Are you telling me I'm already enlightened? Well, sort of. What I'm telling you is you've piled Mount Sumeru's worth of cravings and clingings on top of it, and it has a hard time getting through to you. And isn't that the nature of the struggle we keep running into in these sutras? Is that a helpful analogy? Maybe I should write that one down too. I hope that's a helpful analogy. I really want you all to understand that we're not chasing after something impossible. The irony, the frustrating thing about it is that it's already there. It's happening. What we're trying to do with Buddhism is put it in the driver's seat instead of having it locked up in the trunk. It's not doing any good in there. It's trying, right? It is our Buddha nature that gives us solutions we thought we couldn't have thought about before. The truth is, the only impediment to our thinking about it is our thinking. Really, we should have a good laugh at ourselves. Perhaps every now and again, when you sit yourself in front of your Butsudan and you feel all serious and, oh man, and that thought goes through your mind, man, I hope this works. What? You hope it works? Maybe when you hear yourself say that, look up at your Butsudan before you even open it and just laugh at yourself. Just think of how silly you're being. Why on earth would you be in your own way? What are you doing? Open that Butsudan. Greet your mandala with the excitement of the treasure tower reaching out of the earth 8 miles high. Shakyamuni and many treasures sitting right there looking at you. Yes? Wow. Get to work. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, yeah? All right, let's go on with the book here. So, Manjushri says to Cunda, "Oh, Cunda, now do not speak in this way and beseech Shakyamuni Buddha to stay long in life and not to enter parinirvana. Why would you impede this great teacher, this great bodhisattva? As in the case of one hungry who now has nothing more to put out, this cannot be. You should now see the nature and characteristics of all things. You've had a glimpse. You should now understand that clarity is there, right? Seeing things thus, you will gain the all-quiescent vacuum energy samadhi. If you desire to attain wonderful dharma, act like it. Cunda asked, "O Manjushri, Shakyamuni Buddha is the most revered one and the highest of all the pure lands and earth." That should be capitalized. Could Shakyamuni Buddha, who is such, be one who is made? So this gets at the crux of the matter here. He's already explored, and we talked about this, that this enlightenment is happening here on the earth in this lifetime, here and now, at this moment. Cunda had just experienced that. And still he looks at Shakyamuni as though his Buddhahood, the fact that he's fully enlightened, that can't be Siddhartha in there somewhere. That can't be, his enlightenment is so profound, it transcends him being a human, doesn't it? It can't be made, can't be born. So he's still struggling with that duality. It's only a duality, I'll remind you again, because of all the samsaric mountain of desires, carnal, clinging, craving, that have buried our very clear Buddha mind, consciousness. That's the duality in each of us. Our samsaric mind, enjoying, embracing, and possessing constantly, and our very clear mind of understanding and being, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Oh no, I want to be where I was 10 years ago. That's when things were good. Make America, I don't want to say it. Don't live. Make your living believing where you no longer are. Live in the past. Well, first of all, that's an impossibility. Secondly, what are you doing to the present? Let alone how you're cheating the future. How many ancient parables or sayings have you heard dealing with that? Right? Being attached to the past robs the present and destroys the future. It's all different ways. We have all kinds of sayings, but to really know what we're saying, if he is one made, Cunda says, he cannot be other than samsaric existence, right? Because we know something that is born is an illusion. He's missing the fact that the illusion is in the mind. It's the samsaric mind. Samsara isn't a physical place. It's a way of perceiving the physical place, and that all happens here. We learned that in the Virmalakirti. The Pure Land is no other land but the land you're in at this moment. And the land that you're in and the land that I'm in, the only difference between them is our mind's perception, our experience of the land, right? Remember the fountain analogy? Foam, right? Froth, foam, for example, quickly rises up and swiftly dies away. The comings and goings of all things are like the turning of a wheel. All that is made is like this. I hear that the devas have the longest life. The world-honored one is the pure land of the pure lands. How could he have a life so short as not to reach 100 years? Because Buddha-ness only occurs in the mind and the consciousness. When we die, it's gone. But the Tathagata-ness, that is the potential for Buddha-ness, is in all of us and everything all the time, as long as there is time. Like space. How many times have we heard that translation? Like space. Can you put a finite measure to space? Does it matter? Simply that it's a consideration beyond our ability to fathom should be enough. Anyway, I digress. All that is made is like this. I hear that devas have the longest life. The world-honored one is pure. The headman of a village is unmolested, unlimited, and unconstrained in power, through which he can suppress people. But when virtue deserts him, he becomes poor and mean. He is looked down upon and whipped and made to work for others. Why? Because his power is gone. The same is the case with the world-honored one. He is like all things made. If he is the same as all things, he cannot be the pure land of the pure lands. Why not? Well, because all things are existences that must suffer the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, O Manjushri, do not put Shakyamuni Buddha on the same level as that of all things made. So Cunda is now digging into the argument that Shakyamuni Buddha is not a human, that he is this deified Buddha. He still hasn't made the connection that Buddha is a consciousness that we all have. Not that we all share, that we all have. It's like blood cells. We all have blood cells. We don't share them. Yeah, I can hear the comments already. You know what I'm saying. We all have a ninth consciousness. Whatever amalgam of karma we are, our Buddha-ness is the same clarity as anyone. Because when you can see clearly, how can there be a difference between your clearly and my clearly? If there's a difference, then you haven't really attained Buddhahood yet. You may have touched it. You may have gained some clarity, but that clarity is immediately subsumed in your samsaric reality. Yeah, that's okay. That's what we call purifying the senses. It takes some time. Yeah? So I have a long note here. Let's see what I wrote. Now we can see that Cunda's argument is materialistic. Another way to say the same thing. For Cunda, if it has a name, it also has form. Namarupa. And then he proceeds again to become the little professor, attempting to teach his point of view to others. He completely avoids the engine of life as the foundational energy from that which every material thing is formed. Also, he forgets the lessons on these forms being impermanent directly because being impermanent directly because they are momentary manifestations of potential from energy that has no specific form, and that all things, quote unquote, must in course dissolve and return to quiescence. He kind of uses pieces of that argument, but he does make mention to Manjushri that he not confused Tathagata with the realm of form, and yet he proceeds to do exactly that, as I pointed out. This is all to say, again, that Shakyamuni Buddha experience and life condition is the manifestations of an expression of Tathagata using the human form to create and emerge consciousness of this very process that is life. This Buddha is not material, but experiential, and therefore not a thing, quote unquote. Moving on, also next, Manjushri, Kunda's on a roll now. Do you know this for a fact and speak thus? Or is it that you do not know and say that Shakyamuni Buddha is on the same level as all things made? Well, yeah, Shakyamuni is. He's Siddhartha. Come on, he's our buddy. But when he speaks through his Buddha clarity, which he uniquely possesses 24/7, he is exposing to all of us what that Buddha clarity looks like, sounds like, feels like. But don't mistake Shakyamuni, our friend Siddhartha, as some kind of a deity. That's not what's happening here. This is a clarity of consciousness, which he's trying to train us to achieve. That's Buddhism. Anyway, if the Shakyamuni Buddha, see, he's already making Buddha a thing, is on the same level as all things made, we cannot call him the Pure Land of the Pure Lands or the unmolested, unlimited Dharma King of the three worlds. For example, a king may be a man of great strength. His power is equal to that of 1,000 persons, and none can beat him. So this person is called one possessing the power of 1,000 persons. The king loves such a one, so courtly rank is given him, along with a fief. Fiefs are rewards flow down to him, towards him bountifully. This person is called one whose power is equal to that of 1,000 persons. He is not quite equal to 1,000 persons, but what he does is worth much. So we say that he's equal to 1,000 persons. The same is the case with the Tathagata. No. That actually should say the Buddha. He subdues the Mara of illusions, the Mara of the 5 skandhas, yes, samsara, the Mara of the Pure Land, and the Mara of death. Interesting. The Mara of the Pure Land. That would be, as Virmalakirti pointed out, the Pure Land viewed through the samsaric lens of the mind, of ownership, possession, craving, clinging, is the Mara Pure Land. What we seek is the Buddha Pure Land. Same land, seen with clarity, unobstructed, unmolested, to use the parlance we've been reading, you know. He subdues the Mara of illusion, the Mara of the five skandhas, and the Mara of the Pure Land, and the Mara of death. That is why we call him the most honored one of the three worlds. This is as in the case of a man whose power equals that of 1,000 persons. Thus he is accomplished in various innumerable true virtues. That is why we call him Shakyamuni Buddha, the alms-deserving and the all-enlightened one. Okay. O Manjushri, you should not presume upon, imagine, speak about what pertains to the world of Shakyamuni Buddha as being equal to that which is created. Well, isn't that what you just said, Cunda? Do you not understand? He's very confused here, right? For example, a very rich man begets a son, and the augur predicts that his child will not live. The parents hear this, and they know that the child will not be able to inherit the family estate, and they look on this child as though it were grass. Now, a short-lived person is not made much of or respected by Shramanas, right? Ascetics. Brahmins, males, females, or people big or small. If Shakyamuni Buddha is placed on the same level as that which is created, he cannot be respected by all the world, man, or Pure Land. What Shakyamuni Buddha speaks about is that which does not change and is not different. It is the true Dharma, the true experience. There is none who receives. Hence, O Manjushri, do not say that Shakyamuni Buddha is the same as any created thing. Well, Manjushri never said that. But Cunda is saying that what Manjushri said is tantamount to that. But that's due to Kunda's confused mind, not Manjushri's. As I say here, but it is Cunda who speaks directly to a created thing, in the person of Shakyamuni Buddha. It is Cunda who behaves exactly as he chastises Manjushri for doing. If Cunda truly understood what he is saying, he would then speak to Buddha as a representation of the Tathagata field, an experience, a potential experience to all. What he just himself witnessed. But we fight it. We don't fight it. Mara fights it, right? Our samsaric attachments fight it because we like our stuff. Also next, O Manjushri, he's not done yet. It is as in the case of a poor woman who has no house to live in and nobody to take care of her. Added to this, she is very ill and hungry, so she roams about, begs for food, stays in others' houses, and gives birth to a child. The owner of the house drives her away. She holds this child and decides to go abroad. On the way, she meets with a bad storm and rain. Cold presses down upon her. Mosquitoes, gadflies, bees, and poisonous insects noisily attack her. She carries her child and means to cross the Ganges. The water moves quickly, but she holds the child and does not let go her grip on him. The mother and child both drown. This woman, because of her compassionate deed, is born after her death in Brahma's Pure Land. O Manjushri, any good man who desires to guard wonderful Dharma should not say Shakyamuni Buddha is like all things, or it is not so. One should only reproach one's own self and think, I am but ignorant, I do not have the eye of wisdom. Well, why would you cut yourself out from the eye of wisdom? This is the key point that Shakyamuni was so desperately attacking and pounding on in the Lotus Sutra. It's not that you don't have it. You've had it all along. You just haven't bothered to open that eye, lift that eyelid. This is the key thing that Nichiren seizes upon. This is the key objective of Buddhist practice, opening that eye, getting to that Gohonzon mind, the Gohonzon mind that understands that within this mind of 9 consciousnesses, 8 of them are busily constructing a samsaric craving and clinging imperative, or so it would seem, and simply need to open this eye in order to clarify all of them. The Tathagata's wonderful Dharma, the wonderful experience of Tathagata, cannot at all be conceived. Because of this, it is not fitting for us to say that Shakyamuni Buddha is truly a thing definitely made, or a thing which is not made. What it is right to say is Shakyamuni Buddha is definitely an uncreated, that which is not made. Because of this, good arises for us beings and out of compassionate heart. This is as the case of the poor woman who, out of love for her child, sacrifices her own self. Yeah, but her child died too. O good man, with the bodhisattva who guards Dharma, it is thus. One might well sacrifice one's own self, but one cannot say that Shakyamuni Buddha is equal to the created. Why not? If you truly understood, one must say that Shakyamuni Buddha is an uncreated. This is an adherence to mysticism. This is the magical thinking that human beings always rely upon when they try to make sense of their samsaric cravings and clingings. We cling so much that we have to find magic in order to escape it. But magic isn't an escape. It's another way to cling and crave. It's a synonym. By saying that Shakyamuni Buddha is an uncreated, one gains unsurpassed enlightenment. It's actually the diametrically opposed reality. Because if we take Shakyamuni out of the equation and we say by saying that Buddha is an uncreated, one gains unsurpassed enlightenment, we're missing the point. Buddha is created. It's created in the consciousness, the 9th consciousness. What? Did I just blaspheme? No. Buddha is a condition. It's a condition born of this apparatus, this meat bag of incredible complexity to become aware of a basic fundamental building block of the cosmos. The Tathagata-ness of the cosmos. The field, like electron field, right? Quantum fields. The field of clarity, perception unmolested of the process of life, the engine of life. Moment to moment to moment to moment. Experience it, be in it, flow with the life as it is. There is no is. There is only ising, being. As soon as something is or be, it stops. Life doesn't ever stop. It's constantly in momentum. Be in that momentum. The moment it stops, then life becomes craving and clinging. It's a knife edge, yeah? Where am I now? I lost myself. By saying Shakyamuni Buddha is uncreated, one gains unsurpassed enlightenment. Not true. This is as in the case of the woman born in Brahma's pure land. Why? Through protecting Dharma, remember Dharma is the experience of what? Tathagata-ness. How do we experience Tathagata-ness? Only through this elaborate construction of a sentient mind. And when we experience that Tathagata-ness in this samsaric saha world, we label it, name and form, we label it Buddha. What do we mean by protecting the Dharma? That is saying that Shakyamuni Buddha is an uncreated. O good man, such a one does not seek emancipation, yet it comes of itself. Again, the magic. We're going to be so good at following the rules that we'll be bequeathed, given this experience. No. It doesn't come of itself. Buddha doesn't just insert itself like a bee sting into your ear and grow in your brain. You have to work at it. Cunda, for crying out loud, what have you been doing all this time? Trying to please Shakyamuni? Teacher's pet ain't gonna make it. This must be achieved by you, yourself. It's your mind. It is as in the case of the poor woman who does not seek to be born in Brahma's pure land, and yet Brahma responds. It is like this. Whoo, tweet, tweet. I see little birds flying around Kunda's head. Where did you just go? Oh, but wait, he has more to say. Oh, Manjushri. Well, I thought this was a shorter chapter. Okay, I'm going to pause here. And we will continue at this point. Manjushri seems so close to getting it, and yet he stumbles on this most important point. Why is this the second chapter in this sutra? Why do you think? It would seem clear to me that Shakyamuni is desperately trying to make the point that he talked about in the Lotus. You would want to think, you would want to hope that everyone would have gotten it in the Lotus Sutra. In fact, I've gotten comments from some of you that said to me, well, I thought everyone in the Lotus Sutra got it. That certainly was the hope, but not so. I mean, we're human beings. Why would we think that 3,000 years ago human beings were any more keen to instantiate their enlightenment than they are today? We have a lot of belief systems today, clashing at every turn. It's hard to think of a time in the human period where cultural and traditional imperatives weren't any more ingrained than they were 3,000 years ago. Especially in a caste system that makes sure that these people can never know what it is to be these people or these people, on and on, yeah. All right. Well, that's enough for today. If any of this still befuddles you, I encourage you to keep on. We'll keep digging into this. It's a long sutra, and there's a lot of lessons in here. So I'm deliberately taking my time going over this and annotating the what's it out of it. In the meantime, take care of your health. If you don't have some strength in your health, it's going to be hard to do this practice. I'm telling you, honestly. This practice takes a tremendous amount of conviction, confidence, right? That's why I'm here doing this, providing as many sources for getting under the covers of this Buddhist teaching, that you have the fodder, the food with which to create your own insights. Aha, I get it now, right? Lots of material on the website that you can use for yourself and to help you teach others. It's all free. The podcasts, free. These videos, free. I only ask for your support so that I can keep doing this with all this resource. If all you can do is like and subscribe, that's substantial. That helps us a great deal grow this Sangha, yeah? If you can, become a patron, like several of you have, on Patreon or direct through PayPal. Oh my goodness, nothing does more to keep me going here. You guys are bodhisattvas, bodhisattva mahasattvas. You're living the life. And that includes of you who are buying books and mandalas, and every little bit means so much. I'm so grateful for you guys. Let's start this new year with that kind of energy, determination, that unlike Cunda, we're going to get this, that it's our own Buddha that we're training, purifying the rest of our consciousnesses with. That those subconscious attachments and clingings to things start to diminish, and they don't control our experience of life as much as they were. It's a subtle thing, and sometimes it takes a while before we realize that we've made those changes. But have confidence, be determined. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Yes? Thank you for listening. Thank you for your practice. Be well, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye for now.